Grand champion for 2021 Caboolture Barbecue and Beer Showcase is...
Hey guys, Dave from Red Smoke Barbecue here. Now look, it's Sunday afternoon. It's actually the day after the inaugural Beer and Barbecue Showcase, which was held this year as part of the Caboolture show, and was our first time Red Smoke entered a team into a barbecue competition. Now look, it was a fantastic competition. Having it as part of a larger show being the Caboolture show, which is probably one of the larger local shows that's also held annually, really made it a great event and a great atmosphere. A lot of people coming past, asking about barbecue, watching what we were doing, talking to the teams. We bumped in on the Friday afternoon and got all set up, and then it was good to spend Friday night with the family. We wandered around the show, we wandered through Sideshow Alley and got to eat some really good food. Saw monster trucks, we saw the fireworks, and then Saturday morning was the start of the competitions.
Now this competition was a single day format with 4 categories: pork ribs, chicken, steak, and Bakehouse. All short cooks, so it was a later start, lighting our first fires at 7 AM. We ran 2 Pro Smoke offset smokers for this competition. This was so we could run one at a high temperature to cover the variety of cooks across the 4 categories. With our fires lit and the smokers coming up to temp, at 7:30 AM, all teams attend the competition briefing. This is to cover off the rules, how the day will run, and the most critical part of a barbecue competition, the hand-in times. A quick breakfast, and then it's on to prep. The longest cook of the 4 categories was definitely the pork ribs, so they were the first to be prepped. A nice trim up, and a rub using Deep Southeast sweet meat and French's mustard as our binder. So the next category up was open chicken. Now we went with a couple of options here. We went with chicken lollipop drummies, and we also did some chicken wing flats, just to give us a few options when it came time to boxing up.
Spread the chicken, the skin out as tight as you kind of can, so I guess I can look at that one. And once they're all sitting there, we'll give them another dust.
And a big thanks to Chili Sweet for donating their something corny to us for this particular round. It's an awesome rub, and we think it goes excellent on chicken. To meet the hand-in time of 2 PM, our ribs needed to be in the smoker by 10 AM, and they were cooked at a temperature of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you can't have a barbecue competition without judges, and their day starts at around 10 AM at the judges course. The head judge runs the training course before the first hand-in, covering off all aspects of judging and all important scoring of taste, texture, and presentation. Now this is really a great way to get involved in competition barbecue, so if you're not competing, why not sign up to be a judge at your next local comp? So around 10:30 we hit the chicken with its first glaze. Now this wasn't anything special, it was just something that we made up on the day, but it really complemented the chicken and really let the rub be the winner on this protein. So the third category was steak. Now steak doesn't take too long. We went with a reverse sear on the ribeye fillet. So we started prepping that around 11:15, just stringing it up, getting it all rubbed down, ready to go before throwing it into the smoker for around about half an hour. And with the steak in the smoker, it was time to prep our first ever hand-in, which was chicken. So the chicken came up really well. We were really happy with it, although we did cut it a bit fine on time, just the size of the drumsticks we were using, letting them cook right through. But we got it done just in time, and we're really happy with the presentation.
Red? Oh, that's a number. Oh, heavy. Heavy. Someone's getting fed.
Thanks, Trev.
So the next hour after that hand-in was a pretty busy time, and that's why it's important to have a team. So not only did we have to get the steaks seared and ready for boxing, but the ribs were also ready to wrap. So there was a lot happening at that time. It was all hands on deck. So with the steak seared and the ribs wrapped, it was time to move on to prepping for our 4th category, which was Bakehouse. Now, Bakehouse was basically anything you could find in a bakery that you could cook in a smoker. So we played it a little bit safe here, and we went with a traditional chocolate brownie. So it was time to get that into the hotter smoker, running at 300, while the ribs sat in the first smoker, cooking along nicely at 250. So with all that hard work done, it was time to box up our steak. Now, our steak was cooked beautifully and tasted fantastic, but we did struggle a little bit on the presentation and how we wanted to put the box together. And then later on, seeing some of the other hand-ins, we learnt a lot. So this is the beauty of barbecue competition, is you take the good with the bad, you learn from it, and you move on. So we'll be a lot better for the next time. So with the steak hand-in done and dusted, it was time to move on to hand-in number 3, which was the Bakehouse and our chocolate brownies. And the chocolate brownie came up fantastic, nice and soft in the middle, warm, nice crust on top. We probably just didn't present it in the box as well as we would have liked, and presentation does count towards the overall score, but we knew the taste and texture would rate us pretty highly. Now with Bakehouse done and dusted, it was time to focus on the ribs. So the ribs were coming up really nice in the wrapper. So we unwrapped those and we glazed them with their first hit of glaze before picking out the final ribs for the boxing. I don't know, I'm leaning to this one.
Yeah, I agree.
So if we look underneath,
Yeah, and they're straighter.
and they're firmer, you see these ones?
Yep. Yep. Concur.
We prepared and cooked 4 racks of ribs just to give us options when it comes time to prepare the boxes for hand-in.
Try the bones going.
So this is where you learn a lot
Like that
about
flavour
barbecue
bit,
in a
but
barbecue competition. As you can see here, we're just struggling to cut the ribs properly without losing that nice bark. And then our nice experienced neighbours told us to roll the ribs over onto their back so we could see the bones and get a much nicer cut. So luckily, as I said, we did a couple of extra racks of ribs, so we did have a rack to play with. And after that, it was smooth sailing, and it was just a matter of picking the best ribs out for the box. So it's just a nice little reglaze on top and a couple little touch up, and the box was just about ready. Now we thought that we had the ribs nailed and a couple of minutes to spare, and we took the customary Instagram photo. There was a last minute change just before hand-in where we noticed one of the ribs at the front just wasn't quite presenting nice as we wanted. So we had a quick switch out, a quick clean up, and it was ready for hand-in.
Look at that. Yeah, that looks much better.
Well done, you made it. Good job. Hello, mate.
And with the ribs handed in, that concluded our last hand-in of the day, which meant the competition was done. It was over to the judges now to finish off the judging and tally up the end results. So we slipped inside with the cameras just to have a quick look at the judges and what they were up to. Of course, we couldn't see any of the scores. And then we're outside just to finish cleaning up, grab a cold beer with the rest of the teams, and eagerly await the all-important presentation.
Results. Chicken. 4th place in chicken, Red Smoke Barbecue. Would you believe? Good job, guys. First ever comp. The big ones. Reserve Grand Champion, the 2021, Smooth and Smoky Salad Dodgers. Grand Champion for 2021 Caboolture Barbecue and Beer Showcase is Gorillas in the Mist.
So we're here with Grant and Mitch from Smooth and Smoky Salad Dodgers. Just took out VGC. Old hands at this. What do you think about the first comp up here?
Oh, it's a good open field. It's good to see different people getting involved and having a go more so.
Yeah.
It's the fun of barbecue.
It's an open comp that Trevor's put on, and I think there's 8 new teams here today, which is a big show. I think of 13 or 15 teams that he's had here, but to see 8 new teams and the quality of the food that's around and just the interest in barbecues has been an amazing day. How good is it when you can come to a show and you bring the family, bring the kids, they can go and have a look. We've got barbecue, beer, wine. Great concept. That's the way they all should be.
So for pork ribs, we finished 6th overall. For the chicken, we really felt like we did well in the chicken. We finished 4th. With the steak, as we said, we did struggle a little bit with the boxing and presentation and took a risk by not sourcing the steak, and we finished 13th overall. And Bakehouse, we finished 7th overall. All right, so with the results in, Red Smoke Barbecue finished 4th overall, which was an awesome result and far exceeded our expectations going into the competition. Really, really happy with that. Just behind third place. A big shout out to Gorillas in the Mist who took out first, and Smooth and Smoky Salad Dodgers who were the runners up. Now Smooth and Smoky were our neighbours on the day, and a big thanks to those guys because they were more than willing to help us out, share their tips, offer advice around competition barbecue. It's a little bit different than cooking in the backyard for your friends and family, and they really helped us out, and we do appreciate that a lot, and we can't wait to take what we learned from this competition into the next one. We certainly caught the bug. We're not sure when the next comp will be, obviously, but really looking forward to doing this one again next year. Hopefully we'll see even more teams join because it is a great event, great atmosphere, lots of people around, really enhances the experience. I will say, if you've been thinking about getting into competition barbecue, don't hesitate, just do it. You'll learn a lot. Doesn't really matter what the end result is. You'll definitely learn a lot, and more importantly, you'll meet some great people who you can talk to down the track to get more tips and advice from, and that ultimately will just improve your barbecue right there. So if you haven't joined us before on the channel, really appreciate that you check out the other videos in our channel. We have lots of videos on recipes, gear reviews, sauces, so jump ahead, check that out. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. So again, thanks to Caboolture Show Society, thanks to Trev at Deep Southeast. Until the next video, we'll catch you then.